Hello and good evening. Y'all, I'm still so excited about life. Building. And we're here tonight to build us individually. I know that might sound like, is it individual or is it us? It's us individually. Because until we get a perfect french fry in the container, when we learn how to perfect that french fry, then we're going to do them all perfectly, right? Good evening, Barbara. Um, we're gonna get it all perfectly, and then all of the french fries will be good. So we're going to talk about friendship today. I just want to say one little political thing. Those Republicans catching up with themselves. But I believe they're setting Trump up because they know he's about to destroy the world and end up with World War III. He got Russia over there attacking our ally, Ukraine, and we're not doing much for him. They know they got to get rid of him. So I think that this was all a part of God's plan to tear us up from the foundation of wickedness and replant us in love. So today I want to talk with us about friendship and love. So look, call somebody. Don't forget, if you are not subscribe, like, and share. So when we come back after our intro, we can talk and discuss about friendship and love and what we need, because everybody needs something individually from relationship. Good evening, Sigrid. How are you? We all need something different in a relationship. So, it can't all come from me. We have to, as sisters, know what we need from each other. We used to call each other sister a long time ago. But I got my two sisters with me tonight. See you in a second. See you in a minute. Call someone. Welcome to A Moment with Vivacious, a freedom ride where we the people gather to build ourselves, our family, our community, and our nation. For the sound of America for Progress has reached critical mass. Understanding that we must put aside our differences to focus on the greater good. This is a place of collaboration to rebuild and restore our nation. Welcome to A Moment with Vivacious. Good evening. How are you? Life has been just so good to me. The peace that I have and all of the turmoil can only be of God. I remember when I was in Las Vegas last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. And just being in the mountains. God speaks so loud. His presence is so loud in our everyday life. And being in the mountains with the wind blowing, but everything standing still. It was a desert. Las Vegas is a desert. It was just spoke so much of who God is. And I know that each and every one of us, in every day of our life, I'm sorry, I don't know where this book just came from, okay? I don't know where it could come from, but it just came. But each one of us want our life to speak of the presence of God. It's so big, it's so natural, it's so loud, yet so silent. And I just want us to talk today about relationship. Because like I said before, the intro, I believe that all of this political stuff is occurring because America was so beautiful, for real, before people came and pushed the will of God out the way. And I believe in my heart when he said the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the just. And he said, I'm coming back for a prepared bride. And I keep saying, y'all is going and coming back to the bride is prepared. And I do believe that he's coming back, and it's going to be soon. It's going to be nothing like everybody think they know the mind of God. Who can counsel the mind of God, right? And he's tearing up this ugly root of lies and deceit and thievery. I have an associate of mine Tamara Shealy, she fights very hard for the 40 acres in the mule. She said they owe us reparations. I said they owe us that. They stole it. America is ours. They don't owe us 40 acres in the mule. They owe us this nation. But then, however, in spite of this nation being ours, in spite of that, all and some of what we pay for, what we leave for our kids, the land, the Geechee Islands is one place that I just have to get there real soon. They're stealing that back. We bought it back, and now they're stealing that back. The largest island that our people worked and the families paid cash for, the state of Georgia went and took it. Right on the side of Savannah. We're doing a documentary over there, but not on that. They just took it from us. And just like the very simple answer to that is, united we stand and divided we fall. So they understand if they could divide us, if they could tease us with trinkets, because one truth we never like to face is that they got a lot of slaves. There weren't slaves in Africa, but they made them slaves. They got a lot of our people from Africa because they did dangle trinkets in front of them. But I'm so glad to see that continent fighting back for their place. And this is why I believe, I'm just looking, to me it looks like everything is falling in place. But they're fighting back for their gold and their minerals and their wealth. It's ours. And you're not going to have it anymore. We're not going to stand here and do that anymore. And when I spoke at the convention for the National Organization of Women, for the women of color, it was the National Organization of Women. I said, we ain't doing that no more. Because we fix the whole world for everybody and then go sit back with nothing. And then that 1 hour nothing we have. We're not doing that no more. But I believe the bottom of this is that we have to gain love. Hi, Naya's World. How are you? We ain't doing that no more. We have to gain love. We have to love ourselves and self-respect. And that's what brings life. So we have to get back to love and respecting ourselves. I'm going to use an example. And anybody, anytime y'all want to have anything to say, you just type it in and we're going to read it and discuss it. Because we have to know what each other need, what we need from each other, how to love you. But first, we have to love ourselves, right? I was just sitting there at work this morning, and beautiful young black woman is I'm going to say head nurse, is the charge. She's lead over that unit, right? So that's why I came here early. Because the other morning nurse came and whispered, they're not doing their work. Yeah, we worked all night, okay? So we work on the all-timers unit, so that last night. So that gives you an idea of how hard we worked last night, right? So she said, that's why I'm here early. You didn't work this unit long enough, she turned around and told me. You didn't work this unit long enough, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do here. I did not respond because I knew tonight I had to talk about love. And if I have to give it, I have to be that way if I want to give it out, right? I just looked, I didn't say anything. There's no ice. They were supposed to get ice. You were supposed to assign somebody to go get ice. She could not say one patient was missing anything. We had a lady that we were waiting to die. We didn't want her to die alone. We took turns sitting with her. We did all of this all night long, right? So they didn't have any ice. We got all the patients up ready for breakfast. Breakfast not there. Why somebody couldn't go get ice, right? But I want you to know I didn't say any of that. I just smiled. And washing wheelchairs. I would look at the people up at night and we washed the wheelchairs, but I didn't say anything. I just smiled. And when she gave me the instructions, I just smiled. And when I went over to the other nurse, I was like, I don't know what's happening. I created this joke, to her. And I said, I don't know what's happening. What's wrong? Nobody's smiling. Nobody can be happy. And that is so often, so many places, not saying that you can't address something when there's something wrong, but when 99 things are right and one thing is wrong, let's address the nice things first. How about walking in with a smile, saying good morning? That might work too, right? But I noticed with us at some places we'll walk in and we'll just see somebody and it's something about them we just don't like them. We can't stand them. I had a person close to me. I can't stand her. I said, you know her? No, I just don't like the way she. That's for real. But we can't stand somebody and don't have a clue about it. But what we really don't know, some people might not like what I'm about to say now. It's something about us that we don't like, that we see in that other person. Or a lot of times we have a vision of life and how it's supposed to be. And because that person is not just like us and do it like us and see it like us and say it like us, then that person's off. Like, I don't want to be bothered with that. But I think the bottom to a lot of that is we're missing this. We must know who we are, and we must know who we're not. And a lot of our society is missing that. You ever had somebody tell me, well, you know me, but what they're saying, I know you. You know me, I mean, don't have nothing to do with who they are. Yeah, I do know you. I know you. Hey, Nola. Nola Reese has joined us tonight. How are you? I do know you. And I wish you knew you like I knew you. Or I wish I could tell you what I see about you, what you display. So you can get to know, is that really you? Or is that a screen you put up to defend you? And I say that because that's so real, and a lot of times we don't realize that. Is that we're not who we are, but because of our past hurts and pains, we put up a screen. And it's not really that person. It's just that maybe there's something in that person that I do like, but I don't want to be vulnerable, or that it reminds me of that pain that I had. So if we don't know somebody, if we don't know a person, but we know we don't like them, then that's something, this is just a little hint about us that we must discover and investigate and bring to a better place. Because when I think of friendship, I think of three things. When I think of relationship, let's say, any relationship, reliability and trust, positivity, and being reciprocal of the things. Like I tell my daughter, like I told Lola Reed raising her, when you have a friend, you should do something to enrich that friend's life. If that's your real friend, what are you offering her to grow and be better? And in the same way, you should be getting something from that friend to grow and be better. But what happens to us sometimes, especially those of us that needs nurturing and love, because a lot of us pour and pour and pour and pour and pour. When you get to be my age and some of our ages, we have spiritual daughters, and we have daughters as young as our granddaughters. And when we go to work, we get daughters, and when we go to church, we get daughters, and that's so good. But sometimes we pour and pour and pour, but we miss teaching our daughters how to love us back. We become their crutch till they can't stand up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually on their own because we carried them. I found myself guilty of that. Especially in my daughter's life. I found myself guilty of that. I did not want her to suffer anything. And when things went wrong in her life, you better believe I stepped in it, and in her life, and I fixed it. So there came a point in her life she didn't know how to fix anything. And she told me not long ago, you know, Mama, some of the things I know if I was with you, I would have never experienced. Not that I would be mad at it, because that's my baby. But how will she learn? She wouldn't be the woman she is today if she hadn't stepped out and went through some things on her own, because she would have never went through them with me. No matter what the sacrifice. And a lot of other things we do as nurturers is we don't allow the people in our lives understand the sacrifice that we had to make for them. So when they get up and get everything going and get on their own, they think they did it. Not that we do anything for praise. We don't. We want the best for them. We want to see them best. We want to see them fly high. We want to sit back like my sister today, her grandbaby. His senior pictures came out today. And she could cry. She could cry because she's looking at her investment. She knows the sacrifice that she made to raise her children, to raise her daughter. And I'm not speaking against her son-in-law. He's a wonderful guy and a wonderful father. But I'm just speaking from a nurturing mother's perspective. She taught her daughter well to love and to nurture. So her daughter did that well. She gave her daughters what she did not have. She gave her daughters what she didn't have. And they are flourishing. And their children are flourishing. So when I look back and I see a young woman who lost her mom at an age that was too young, But her mama lived long enough to teach her how to stand up and be a woman and cause her daughter to be a woman. That's exciting to me. And when I look at my daughter and see that she learned from my flaws and her flaws and the things that she implanted in my granddaughters, is just awesome to me. But what I don't understand is that, and I say those first because I want to say something else. I want to talk about what I think we can work on as a people. And when I see a woman who alone raised a daughter who's almost a perfect young woman, and that daughter raised sons, and those sons came out to be a gift to the world, that's awesome to me. That's awesome. And to those of us who never finished nurturing and never finished growing people, that's awesome. And you can tell it when your birthday come up, because the whole Facebook and IG is just full of with happy birthday and all beautiful accolades. I gotta get back, y'all. I'm sorry for that. Your birthday passed and I didn't write something beautiful. I'm thinking beautiful things. Hey Kanisha, how are you? Welcome. But I wanted to say that to say, going back to the story I opened with, what has happened to us with sisterhood? And I can't say that with me and anybody whose name I see on the screen right now, because I have beautiful relationships and beautiful sisterhood. And I have people old and young pouring into me and I'm pouring into them. Oh God, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. And I'm blessed with each and every one of you that are here today, because you're here because you love me. And you're giving me support. And I want to be able to say that means the world to me. But if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and press that button, okay? But it means the world to me that you're here. But so often, y'all, what is wrong? What can we put in this video that might help somebody who come across? I can't stand my sister. I can't stand my mama. My mama didn't do everything like I think a mother should do. My mama ain't like you. My mama's not like you. But they say ain't. But, you know, I'm just making it real. How do we, as a community, begin to relate to each other better? One thing I think that comes to my mind, because I have this person I speak with, but I watch what I tell her. I watch what I tell her because she's so judgmental. I'm just gonna make something up. Oh girl, I wore the blue dress instead of the green dress. Girl, you that green dress. Green dress mean you mildewed. That, you know, of course that's. And never, you know, like never uplifting. And it's her personality. I don't know if it's her I don't know. Anybody have any suggestions? Why have we become so judgmental of each other? Like I heard some young girls talking about their life and things they do and don't do. Oh, I would never do that. Well, you're not her. You're not her. That's not your experience. It don't make it bad because you did it. It will make it not you because you did it. If you had done what she would do, and it's not you. So I don't know. We without looking at our own flaws, but who wants to walk around their whole life looking at their flaws or anybody else's flaws? The only reason we would look at our flaws is to make ourselves better. And how do we build trust again? How do we build trust with one another again? My girlfriend would have no problem leaving her children with me. And of course, you pick who you leave your children with. But these days, can you trust your children with anybody? There's some family members. Not only that they will physically harm them, but for the things that they would teach them, or the things that they would do in front of them. I know smoking weed is all cool with the world today. It's all right. I'm not knocking nobody who smoke weed. Some people smoke weed for a reason, and there's some medicinal reasons that people use marijuana and THC for. That's much better and less toxic than medication. I'm not knocking that at all. But what I am knocking is when we do that in front of children whose parents don't accept that. And they learn that in the family home. I guess maybe do you think I'm talking about boundaries here? Maybe we need to go back and reestablish boundaries in friendship and relationships. Should we redefine right and wrong? Is it okay? Is it okay to because we think it's okay and it's all right? Is it okay and all right anywhere? How do we begin to reestablish trust in relationships? Do we think we need truth? Do we think there's issues? I know, like even I used to go to YouTube for um, all of my information. I would go to YouTube, but now people are so, I guess, focused on money and making their channel big that they're just saying anything. You have to, you have to You can't trust anybody. Like everybody want to make money, everybody want to be rich, but society today has none, no um, trust value. You have to slice it like thin pieces of cake. You can't just turn on the news and believe everything you hear anymore. Everybody wants to be a superstar. I'm sorry, I'm about to phone. Everybody wants to be a superstar. So they fabricate all of this stuff and all these lives. Well, I have dreams too, but I remember once my daughter was young. She might have been about 11 or 12. And we were at church. And one of the deacons at church was trying to tell her something, talk to her about something. And she said, oh, because my mama said it, blah, 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 blah. So her mama said this, so nobody else could make her believe anything in life. Do we have somebody like that in our lives today? Somebody that we can know if they said it, it has to be true. I remember once made me so happy, and I was like, God, thank you, Lord, because only you can cause me to be that. When my grandbaby said, my nan is the most real person I know, that was bigger than the trophy and the crown for me, because it spoke of my character. And I can look down a list of people that's tuned in right now, those that I can see. And I know those who's close to me and those who's, just attached to me. But I thank God that that He has allowed me to surround myself with people I can trust my life with. Do you have people besides your children? Do you have a friend do you have a friend in your family? How do we bring back family? I saw on Facebook the other day somebody. I have a lot of questions, but I'm not getting no answers. But anyway, I saw on Facebook the other day somebody said, "Let's bring back family reunions." I thought to myself, "Oh my God, that's only once a year." So I believe that in order for us to survive and build where we are today in our society, we have to start at the bottom of the barrel and setting a whole new foundation for our nation. And it's going to start with restoration of family and hood. I always, in the neighborhood, I always tell people, I'm not ghetto. Elvis Presley sang about ghetto. We were not ghetto people. We were hood people. We lived in a neighborhood where everybody knew each other. Everybody helped each other build. Everybody, we knew each other. We knew what was happening in that house and who lived in there. And all of the families worked together. I remember my sister came here to Georgia with me to visit me once, and she said, Do you know these people, like in the neighborhood? Do you know these people? And I was so glad because it was just a week before that I was talking to the neighbor on one side. I was talking to her over the fence, and another neighbor had called me down to tea at her house. But she didn't want to be neighborly. She just wanted to know my business. She just wanted to know my business. So, but of course I didn't give it to her. So did that build a bigger wall? And why don't we want to know our neighbors anymore? Fear is just taking us over. It's not safe to know your neighbors anymore. It's not safe for people to know if you're gonna be home or if you're gonna be gone. When a neighbor used to watch your house, and your child used to come home with the key, and the neighbor knew that they were in there with the key, and if anybody went to that house, the neighbor looked out and said, "Who you need? What you looking for?" Because they knew the children could not open the door because the mama wasn't home. But now we wouldn't dare want our neighbor to know our children was in the house by themselves. So I'm hoping here with Moment with Vivacious, we can talk about some things. I know at the libraries here in Georgia, there's rooms you can rent. You can rent rooms, and it's free. I'm saying rent. Maybe I paid $30. But it's basically free. And maybe we could have some community gatherings like that. What y'all think? Some sister meetings and hold a meeting and talk about the things that we fear and the reasons why we don't reach out. And since COVID, everything is Zoom. I'm over a committee with the Georgia Now, and the committee leaders have to give events. So my president asked me, "Why don't you give it Zoom?" I said, "Nobody knows anybody. How are we gonna know anybody? How will we effectively get anything done?" Somebody asked me, "Why didn't I call somebody to ask questions?" I don't know anybody. So why we want to keep doing Zoom? Don't we want to know each other? If we're a group, don't we want to meet each other? And don't we, how else will we develop together? I think our separation enhances our separation. I think until we begin to gather again, a whole lot of us, I belong to a church, those people don't have no clue. Because I listen to it either 8:30 in the morning if I'm home on a Sunday. But a lot of time I'm coming home from work to go to church. So one day during the week, I listen to church, and I just have to press a button to send my tithes. When I send them, Lord, don't have me lying on them. I don't want to be lying. I don't send them all the time, but I always send the offering. Um, but I will say, Bishop Bonner, he's my pastor. That man have no clue I even walk the earth. They have cell groups. I don't belong to that either. I listen to you and I send them money. So maybe the first thing that we must develop is a need for one another. Because we are a lone ranger in it. So maybe as a society, maybe we have to, within ourselves, create a need. For each other's existence. There's one person in my life, well, two. I guess if you live in the neighborhood, you would know people, but not like we used to know people. But or maybe I'm trying to go back too far in time. Which I think, how are we gonna do this as a sisterhood? How do we develop sisterhood? Because even on a job, when you have other people, um, and they could be hating each other, and if there's an incident going on, they join one another against that person who's not like them. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And they put all of us in that same category, that person they're arguing with. But we will eat each other alive. But I'm gonna leave us today. I'm gonna leave us with the charge. And the charge is, when we hear something or say something about, or someone say something about themselves, I want us to test ourselves to see if we're judgmental. Like, am I judging this person without knowing them? That's one thing. Number two is, when we walk into a situation, smile. This morning, when I went to my patient's bedside, it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I smiled and said, "Good morning, how are you? Did you have a good night?" He said, "You just don't know what that smile did for me." I thank you for that. We don't know how one smile or one bright word, and sometimes it's hard because we're not feeling it. We're not feeling it ourselves sometimes. But let's approach every situation with a smile. Think of a love saying. I always say love heals all things. And I'm not saying get to know people, let people into your life, or blah, blah, blah. But let's be a little more social. Let's step out. And guess what? We don't have to go far. We just put the phone down. I told my granddaughter, well, I'm going to come see y'all for my birthday. What y'all think we ought to do? And they know me, right? So they said, let's dress up and go to dinner. I said, all right, that sounds good. Well, let's go to that place you always want to take us. I said, that's Brennan's. That sounds good. That sounds like Nana. And then I said, no telephones. So let's have an evening without family, with no telephones. And if it's 3 people. When I get to New Orleans next week, I'm asking my sisters, can we just talk with no telephones? Can we have 4 hours together, just the 3 of us, with no telephone? Because I miss them so much, being separated from them. I talk to them, but I miss them. Hug somebody that you love. And somebody that's close to you, your mom, let me tell you, I thank God for my sisters. They're the magic in my life. My nanny, my only aunt, we had gotten to a discussion. And I always say, you do not argue with your elder. You do not do that. And I didn't scream and holler at my nanny, but, just to keep family business in the family. A lot of things had occurred, but I had to protect my grandbaby, And I walked out of her house. Nola Reed says, sometimes love is not enough. Oh, we have to discuss that. And Nola Reed said, my aunties are the best. Well, now that's my daughter, right? My sisters are magic. And when I came into town, I came into New Orleans, and my sisters picked me up. And without asking, and as usual, we had dinner. Breakfast, because I come early in the morning. So we had breakfast, and they drove me to my aunt's house and made that end. They made it in. And y'all, I want y'all to know it wasn't that much longer before she died. If it wasn't for my sister saying, we are family, and we are not going to allow this to be, I may have lived to regret not what I said, but that I allowed it. So if you need somebody to be the glue, to be that middle person who could fix it. They didn't say anything. I just sat at the table, and I just act like nothing happened, because they know me, and I'm glad that happened. So I'm just saying, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on a relationship that is broken. A family relationship, one that don't need to be broken. How we fix that? I would say love, but Nola Reed said sometimes that's not enough. Nola Reed, what you meant by that? Sometimes that's not enough. Are you still there? Do anybody else have anything to say about that statement? Yes, we are 4 auspicious flower shape. Oh, this is Sigrid. Nola reads, yes, we are base fuchsia flower shape. I don't know what that means. What that mean? Sigrid. Fuchsia flower shape. Does that mean we're not truthful with one another or fake? It's not real love? Trying to call y'all, see if she'll talk.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call can.
Oh, you know what? She can't talk and be on here at the same time. So I was gonna call and ask her, so we could hear our voice. Nola reads, I can love you, but that doesn't mean I have to stay around and be toxic with you. If being in your space messes with my peace, no amount of love will fix it. I am chaosing my peace. Okay. All right. So that sounds like, okay, that sounds like a one-sided thing. And how we got all of this toxicity in our families? How did we get all of this toxicity, y'all? It's like, oh my God, for real? Where did you get all of that from? And I remember there was a situation in my family, and I was saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, I'm the fairy godmother, the fairy love mother, I guess. Oh, well, and that, my sister said, you keep doing that. We ain't doing all that. We did that already. We have always put out the peace branch. Nobody putting out the peace branch to us. We're not doing that. But this was the one time when I became frustrated, and I went to my sister to talk to her about it, and she said, "No, we're not doing it." I was like, "Yeah, well." So I could understand that. I could understand that. Hmm. That reminded me of the song. Was it Al Green that sang the song, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Because we don't have to sit around and let people beat us down. We don't have to do that. And you're right, Nola, we still can love them, but don't have to sit in the midst of that. And I can understand your answer to Sigrid. I can understand your answer to Noah Reeds. It's like we have been so poisoned by selfishness. How do we deal with selfishness? But getting all the way back to the beginning, we have to first, in order to have relationship, in order to have friends, in order to have sisterhood, you have to deal with yourself. And you have to know yourself and know you're ugly. The older I get, this is secret, y'all. Can you bring that up for me, Kenzie? Are you still there? It'll be easier for me to read. Okay. She must not be there, y'all. The older I get, the more I like being by myself. Oh, it's too small. I don't like the mess and confusion. There is always something going on. I know, huh? Barbara Dozier said, we are not doing that anymore. Yeah, we ain't doing that no more. Yes, we ain't doing that no more. We're not doing that anymore. I know, right? Well, see, but you're not gonna be by yourself next week because I'm gonna be at your house. But right. And there's only so much we could do. If they don't have no bend on the other side, if it's all the selfishness, we, I guess the only way we can get rid of that is prayer, because we are so selfish. We are so consumed with ourselves. Not all of us, because evidently it's not us that's here on this line. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody was that way, we would be able to work it out. But you're right. You're absolutely so right. No need. Oh, I hope you ask my T Siggy and not just told her on this live. I did. I even explained to her some other stuff that's gonna happen. I did. But she loves me enough to know I think I have my own room at her house. And it's mine. She know that. Yeah. So let us let me just say, let us reach out to who we can reach out to. Because it's not gonna be everybody. See, this is why we have to have conversation. And this is why y'all have to talk back, right? To the people that we can give love and bring healing to. Let us reach out to them. Let us reach out to them. And when the other folk see their toxicity, they're going to do that by themselves. They need to go detox in the corner and pray for healing, deliverance, and being set free. Then they can come join the party of us free loving people. But we can't let people, y'all absolutely right. We ain't doing that no more, like Barbara said. We're not letting people just break us down. We're not doing that no more. And we're going to teach people how to love us back. And we're going to open doors. I'm getting a text right now from somebody I had to teach how to love me back. So some people want to learn. Some people want to be better. You know, there's a lady I was talking to today, and she said, "Vivacious, I really wanna expose you to this. I really wanna do this for you, but I have been burned so much." You know, and I said, "Well, I'm glad that you trust me, and this." And of course, I'm saying to myself, I've been burned so much. I'm reading about it first. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is this: is that we're being cautious because of the situation we've both been in, but we're believing we could trust someone. I sure enjoyed today with y'all. Thank you guys for being with us. All the craziness that's going around. I just want to say one thing that made me laugh when the president started talking about Barack Obama and Russia. I was like, this stuff is too crazy now. Then it's time to call in a psychiatrist. I was about to fall out and laugh. You were the one who had Kim Jong-un and the Russians, um, and the Russians, and the Russians in the Oval Office. And I want to thank, before I hang up this phone, I want to thank my daughter for all the love that she gave me, even at a time in our life when it was hard. As God rebuilt us, He built her with even more love for me. And I just want to say thank you to her for that. And I want to thank my big sister who gave who gave me love and attention and gave up a great big part of her life. She gave up college so that I could finish high school. And Daddy had us in the private school, the nerve of him. But it was my older brother and sister that got me through. I want to thank them. I want to thank my friend Barbara, who spreads her life, wide open to receive and love me and mine. I want to thank you. And Naya, that's my baby girl. That's my baby girl. I love you so much. And you're going to have to just come take a moment to Georgia and spend some special time with me. And I had another friend here, Kanisha. Kanisha is my doll, y'all. My heart. Thank everybody. I want to thank y'all so much. If I missed your name, know I love you. Call me anytime.